Hello, beautiful people. Today is 19th of September. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, first of all, in today's GS folder, we'll see a quote from the revolutionary leader, the great Bhagat Singh. He had said, "Bombs and pistols do not make a revolution. The sword of revolution is sharpened on the whetting stone of ideas." Now, guys, Bhagat Singh has been called as revolutionary not because he propagated violence, rather, he propagated a revolution of ideas. He tried to change the mainstream thinking as how the colonialism or the British imperialism is not into the benefit or the welfare of the nation. And guys, the same appeal he has made to the people into the times to come. Now this particular quote becomes very much relevant because right now, into the name of right wing extremism and left wing extremism, the violence is being shattered and the intellectuals, they have been discarded as the pseudo intellectuals, and it has been said that intellectualism is not worthy of revolution. So into such atmosphere, such kind of thinkings become highly relevant. Now guys, this particular quote can be utilized into GS paper number 2, can be utilized in GS paper number 4, as well as highly relevant into the topics of the essay. So guys, that's it, and now let's take the newspaper analysis.
Now, guys, first of all, let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now, first news here we can see that it is with respect to the statements made by the Supreme Court judges that media should not target the minorities. So, guys, very briefly, we'll see this thing. Then, guys, here we can see that again the India-China conflict is going on where the patrolling points have been blocked by the Chinese. However, guys, you don't need to see the details of the nitty-gritties involved here. Now, here we can see Delhi High Court has given certain statements with respect to bridging the digital divide. So in this particular respect, we'll see the issue. Then guys, the farmer protest is going on, and in last 2 days we had discovered this particular issue very properly. Then into the city news, the number of COVID-19 cases, etc., it is all going on. Then guys, moving forward, as we reach the editorial page, this particular editorial again is talking about the agricultural reform. Now guys, this article is talking about the Afghan peace process, but many a times we had discussed this particular issue because just a few days back also we had seen that the S Jaishankar has made a statement onto the intra Afghan deals. So guys, many times it has been seen. Now this particular article talks about as the new prime minister is coming into the Japan, so the challenges as well as convergence will be seen here. Then guys, this article is on to the GST issue. Now as Saturday, this is on Saturday there is a ground zero report. Now this ground zero report is with respect to the arrest of two actors into the Karnataka into the drug charges. So guys, just those personal accounts have been given, not important. Then guys, moving forward, so as here we can again see the farmer protest is being talked about. So guys, the entire paper is nearly filled with this thing. Now guys, Rajya Sabha passes bills to slash salaries of MPs. If you remember, just a reference, 2 3 days back we had seen the issue of the MP lads, where I have told you what this scheme is all about, what were the challenges, what were the criticisms, what good things. Then and that same day I also told you that now the bill is also being passed to reduce the salaries of the MPs. A 30% cut was to be made. So guys, this is in that respect only. Then guys, moving forward, now here we can see that the Supreme Court has asked the plea response with respect to the ART in the livestock. So we'll see this thing. Then moving forward, the showcase page, not important for our exam. Then guys, onto the world's page, we can see China had sent the fighter jets towards the Taiwan. So we'll see this, the rationale of this particular step. Then guys, onto the business page, country of origin has been mentioned. So we'll see what are they and why it is being now done. Then guys, the next page is the sports page. Nothing important has been given here. So that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail.
Now guys, taking up the first news. So this particular news pertains to a direction given by the Delhi High Court with respect to the digital divide that is growing. Now, first of all, this word digital divide has came in many a times into the newspaper and many places you might have heard. What does this actual word means? So whenever you'll be talking about it, use three A's. What are these three A? That it is the lack of availability, affordability, and accessibility. Now, availability, you might have seen the news that there are certain interior regions, the village areas where the internet is not coming. So even if you have gadgets, you are not in a capacity that you can use it. Second is the affordability. Many a times, if you'll take example of Delhi, in Delhi the internet connection is very good, but you might not be able to afford the gadget as well as connection. And the third is accessibility. Now the accessibility means that technologically or basically there are some barriers with respect to the education, with respect to the technical know-how, with respect to the language. You have mobile phone, you have internet connection, but you don't know how to use it. So these three A's define the digital divide, and this particular thing has been seen that it exists at a very big level due to the pandemic which has been caused. We had realized this particular thing. Now guys, Delhi High Court had said that now a kind of a digital divide had made a differentiation. On one hand there are able students, and on another hand there are the economically weaker section students and the disadvantaged group. And here the schools have to play an important responsibility. Both the public as well as private schools, they need to keep sure that the internet as well as gadgets should be provided to the students. It has been said that what will happen if this particular thing will not be provided, then the economically weaker section as well as disadvantaged group students, they will all together abandon the education for the work, and the gross enrollment ratio and the success which we have achieved after so many years, all these things will go away. Moreover guys, it has also been said that because of such particular thing, they will not only leave the education, but a kind of an inferiority complex will also come into their mind. They will see that the kind of the economic and social divergence has led to ruining of their life, and such a notion is not good for the healthy development of mind of a child. So therefore it has been said that a kind of a digital apartheid should not rule the nation right now, and the schools have a basically responsibility that they should act. Now guys, into this particular thing, it has been said that the publicly funded school, they should provide, the school which has been aided, they should provide. However, the schools which are private and which are unaided, they provide, but after that they can retake a reimbursement from the government under the section number 12 subclause 2 of the Right to Education Act. So guys, this particular observation has been made by Delhi High Court, and if a question on digital divide or the online education comes, you can provide this particular thing as a reference. So guys, that's all about this particular thing, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article here, just a little observation we have to make. Now already yesterday I told you, we have discussed one article where Supreme Court was told by the central government that first of all Supreme Court should look into regulation of the digital media. I told you that this particular thing is right now going on because a news channel, that is the Sudarshan TV, it was playing a show with respect to the entry of minorities into the UPSC. For that particular thing, the matter went to the earlier matter went into the purview of the government. Government allowed that the show can screen, but then the Supreme Court stayed the show. Now guys, into this particular thing, the Supreme Court has made an observation that media should not always target the minorities. It has been said that the free journalism, free media needs to be there, but at the same time minorities should not feel that they are being abandoned. It has been said that the attacks by the media should not be led onto the people of the marginalized communities. It has been said that otherwise the minority and the marginalized communities, they will end up into the wrong hands. So guys, these particular two statements which you can see onto the screen here, you can utilize them in your answers. So one is given by the Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, where he had said, we want a cohesive nation. We as citizens and judges are concerned about national security, but we are also equally concerned about protecting human dignity. Whereas on to the other hand, Justice K.M. Joseph had said the attacks will marginalize people who want to come into mainstream. You may end up driving them into wrong hands. Every community strives to have a voice in the bureaucracy. What is wrong in that? So guys, just if a kind of an essay comes onto the kind of a minority or basically diversity on such kind of things, such things might be utilized there. Is it clear? So guys, just that's thing all in this matter, and now we'll move to the next issue. Now guys, this particular issue, pertains to the change of prime minister into the Japan, and it is highly utilizable for our GS paper number 2 international relation. Now, what has happened? Just now, Shinzo Abe, the longest serving prime minister of Japan, has stepped down because citing some health concerns. And in the place of Shinzo Abe, the new prime minister, that is Yoshihide Suga, he had now stepped in. Now, basically, he has been a kind of he has been a very close associate of the Shinzo Abe, and it has been said that by coming of the Suga prime minister, the continuity will be coming rather than the change, because he had been a member into the cabinet of the Shinzo Abe. He had been the implementing person of all the policies of the Shinzo Abe, and he knows the outlook of the Shinzo Abe very well. Now, guys, he had even declared that he will continue the economic policies that was started by the Shinzo Abe. Now, whenever the Shinzo Abe is talked, one particular word is very importantly or it is very keenly aligned to him, that is Abenomics. Now, Abenomics pertains to the economic policies that were driven by the Shinzo Abe, because Shinzo Abe pledged that when he will become the prime minister, he will take out the Japanese economy from a kind of a stagnation which has come. I'll tell you more about the the Abenomics. Just wait for a while. Further, the prime minister, the new prime minister, he had also said that he will also be taking up the COVID-19 handling strategies very effectively, which was started by the Shinzo Abe. Now, guys, there are certain challenges for the new prime minister, as he will be holding the position into the Japan. Now, first of all, what are the challenges for Japan as well as for the new prime minister? Number one challenge is the US presidential election, which will be going to be held in November, because if there will be the change of guard, then the new kind of policies, new kind of engagements have to be designed with the USA. Then the second problem is to deal with the aggressive China, because we know that the China and Japan, they have kind of disputes into the Pacific as well as South China Sea onto certain notions of the territories. Then, guys, there is a kind of a global economic downturn which is going on, and how the Japan will be preserving its economic interest. Then the pandemic and the Tokyo Olympics, which were to be held in 2020, but now they have been scheduled for 2021. Now, guys, for India also, the exit of Abe is a kind of a loss. Why? Because when the Shinzo Abe was the prime minister, he cultivated very deep and very meaningful partnership with the India. For example, the relation were upgraded to a special strategic category, and a kind of a global partnership was made between the countries of the like-minded nature. Then, guys, the annual PM summits were started. After that, the India-Japan civil nuclear partnership was carried, and, guys, India was one of the first country with which the Japan started a civil nuclear agreement, even when India was not a non-proliferation treaty member. NPT has not been signed by India. After that, guys, the idea of Quad, that is the quadrilateral security dialogue, it was also a brainchild of the Japanese prime minister. He said that we will create an arc of democracy, and such an arc of democracy will help us to counter the responses given by the China. And right now, as we are facing the crisis from the China onto the LAC sector, the Quad happens to be a very promising thing, and that thing came because of the Shinzo Abe only. Then, guys, the good personal relations were also there. Moreover, the idea of Abenomics were shared with the Dr. Manmohan Singh also, the earlier prime minister. Now, the Abenomics, it depends on to the three arrows. What are these three arrows? Three kind of reforms that were taken by the Shinzo Abe. That is monetary easing. After that, the fiscal stimulus. Now, monetary easing is by the central bank of the Japan. Then the fiscal stimulus, more money will be pumped into the economy by the government. And the third is the structural reforms. So on to basis of these three arrows, the Japanese economy was able to be recovered. Now, guys, it has been said that though the new prime minister, he is not very much different into the ideology, but still we need to make sure that a new round of diplomatic actions is taken in such a way that the same relations which were earlier there, they continue into the same trajectory. So, guys, all these things have been said into this particular article. So that's it, friends. Could be important this year, as this happens to be a prominent theme. And now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article and these particular article, they are necessarily the entire repetition of the things that we had discussed many a number of times. Now this one article is with respect to the GST issue that is going on between the center and the state. Center is not in a condition to give the GST money to the state. Here the entire chronology or the issue has been explained. Now guys, on this particular thing we have made so many of the videos, and if you don't have any knowledge about this particular thing, you can refer the matter on 30th of August at this particular timestamp. There I had discussed it from the very scratch, and in between also there have been the discussions. Then this particular article talks about the agricultural protests which are going on. This is in respect to the basically the ordinances that government brought, and now it is passing them into the acts. However, this article also we discussed yesterday as well as the day before yesterday, and guys, the 17th September at this particular timestamp you can refer this particular matter. So guys, just a repetition, nothing new has been given. So that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article is with respect to the animals treatment. Now one connection, if you'll allow me to make, yesterday I have taken one editorial article where we discussed the need to amend the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. There we had seen that the section number 11 has become kind of is not having any impact in deterring the violence against the animal. Moreover, other reforms also we suggested. So guys, into that particular line of issues we can put this particular article also. Now here it has been said, here first of all a plea was made into the Supreme Court where it was said that the artificial reproductive techniques which the central government as well as the state government both promote, these techniques are not actually good. Now artificial reproduction involves the artificial insemination into the animals. This particular process is very painful, it is very uneasy, and it goes against the established principle of laws. It has been said that the reproduction is a basic biological right of every creature, including the animals as well as the poultry birds, and you can't trample them to conceive the pregnancy. And guys, therefore the artificial and forced mating are not required into that particular direction. So guys, Supreme Court has now seeked a plea, is now seeking that can we ban the artificial reproductive techniques. Now guys, moreover it has also been said that the artificial reproductive technique, they are the violation of the Prevention of Cruelty Act, because there it has been said that the unnecessary pain should not be inflicted onto the animals, and this induces a lot of pain. Secondly, it has been said that it is also against the Environment Protection Act and against the Biodiversity Act. Is it clear? So guys, such kind of challenges have been raised. However, we need to see whether such challenges can be sustained and or not, because artificial insemination, if it will not be there, how the livestock sector will be sustained, how the people who are dependent on this particular sector for their livelihood, how they will be sustained. Now guys, even right now the times are such that the economic crisis and economic miseries are to such an extent that the people are dependent on them, and how their interest will be safeguarded. So guys, this is a particular issue in this particular respect. Just please keep it in your mind. That's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article here you can see that the China has sent the fighter planes towards the Taiwan. Now it is basically, the news in itself is not that much important. However, certain issues are there which we have to see. Now first of all, why China is doing this particular thing? So if you don't know anything, I will tell you from the very scratch. See, there is one China principle. Now according to one China principle, it has been said that there is People's Republic of China, that is the main China which we know. Then there is the Republic of China. Republic of China is the official name of Taiwan. It has been said that these PRC as well as ROC, they are one country only. Is it clear? And the People's Republic of China, that is the mainland China, it is the state which is the legitimate government or the legitimate state over all both of these two territories. Is it clear or not? So, one China principle means that there is a China, there is a Taiwan, and both are the part and parcel of one, and the mainland China is the real representative government. Now, the Taiwan also believes into such kind of one China policy. He says that yes, we both are one, but the legitimate government is the government of Taiwan, not the government of the mainland China. Is it clear? Moreover, into the Taiwan, there is one more trend which goes, that is the policy of Taiwanization. Now, the Taiwanization, this policy believes that we don't have any connection with the China. We are completely independent. Is it clear or not? So, guys, two trends are there into the Taiwanization. One China principle where they says that yes, the mainland China is also our part, and the Taiwanization where they say that Taiwan is independent, but China doesn't have to do anything. Now, both of the policies are not appreciated by the China, because in both of them the Taiwan is seeking the legitimacy, and China from very start has said that we will not lose our control over the Taiwan, and therefore China has said very strictly that all the countries which will maintain the relations with the Taiwan, or the official relations with the Taiwan, they will not have relations with us. And we know that the China's role is so much important into the global supply chain, as well as China is a market and all such kind of things, that the countries have not made the full diplomatic official relations with the Taiwan. There are only 14 countries, and these 14 countries are very small island nations whose own sovereignty, whose own independence at many times is into the questions. Many times such things have been raised. They have just recognized the Taiwan, so that Taiwan in turn recognize. The major countries have not recognized Taiwan. However, more than 40 countries, 40, they have made non-official, non-full-fledged diplomatic relation with the Taiwan. But the China has always been critical for that particular thing also. And guys, even because of this particular thing, Taiwan is not even the member of the WHO. And Taiwan has not received any support from the WHO. Now, guys, there was an issue also that even the WHO is not supporting Taiwan, but Taiwan has contained the pandemic of the COVID-19. Now, after this particular background, see this news. China sends a fighter towards Taiwan. Why? Because this is the first time that a very high profile delegation has arrived into the Taiwan from the USA. Now, you know the relations between the US and China, they are basically a kind of a negative, basically a relations of infuriation are going on between these two countries. They are not happy with each other, and therefore deliberately to poke the China, the USA had sent a delegation to the Taiwan. China didn't like this particular move, therefore they sent the fighter jet towards the Taiwan, and they said, the China said that they are conducting a kind of a routine exercise, and had also made this thing very clear that any action which aims to make Taiwan independent, or which makes to take Taiwan away from the China, it will be given the serious responses. And in that particular symbolism, such a thing has been done by the China. So guys, we don't need to see these episodic events, rather you need to have an understanding that what kind of trajectory is prevailing here. So guys, this is all about this particular issue. You don't need to go into the nitty-gritties of other things. And now we'll move to the next article. Now friends, this particular news pertains to the country of origin rules. Now, before going into this particular news article, first of all, let's see certain basic things. Now, what happens when some countries are coming together into the free trade agreement? They give preference and concessions to each other's goods. Is it clear? For example, here into this particular question, the ASEAN FTA is in question. Is it clear? Now guys, first of all, ASEAN is a grouping of 10 countries. Such a grouping was made after the Bangkok Declaration, and onto the map you can see the 10 countries which are the member of the ASEAN. Now India had signed a free trade agreement with the ASEAN. Now under this free trade agreement, any good which is coming from these countries, they will be given the preference. What is the preference? That we will not be charging the custom duty onto the goods which are coming. Either it will not be charged or it will be very much less. But the goods which are coming, they have to show a country of origin certificate. Now the certificate, it will be written that the good was actually made into the Thailand, and from Thailand it is coming to India. Now on to this particular thing, the concessions will be given. Now guys, what happens? This particular free trade agreement, such kind of thing has been abused by the China. What China has done? China make the cheap products into their country, then they divert, then they send their goods to the Thailand, and from Thailand they are sending the goods into the India. And in this particular way, the Chinese goods are also are entering into our economy, and because of their cheap prices, they are basically they are having implications on our domestic manufacturing. Now the government had changed the import export rules, and it has said that the person who are importing, the Indian importers, they have a responsibility that they need to seek the country of origin certificate, and they need to make sure that such kind of certificates are true, such kind of certificates are not fake, or by those certificates Chinese goods are not coming into our country. So guys, this is a particular issue in this particular respect. Now country of origin certificate, either they are given as a part of a free trade agreement, or many a times guys, the countries who are very less developed or who are underdeveloped, their goods are also given a kind of a country of origin benefit. Is it clear? So guys, just that particular thing. Into the news article, the acts and the legislations and the rules have been mentioned into the technical details. However, that particular thing is not usable for our exam. You just need to have an understanding over this particular thing. Now that it has been, word has been said that the due diligence, so due diligence has to be carried by the Indian importers. That is, they need to seek that such kind of the certificates have been audited and are genuine. So guys, this particular thing, in this particular thing respect, moreover, please keep in your mind the countries of the ASEAN also. So guys, that's all about this particular issues, and now we'll take up the question section.
Now friends, please pause the video and try to answer the question. Question number 1 is with respect to the Ramsar sites. Please see the combinations and see which are the correctly matched. Now question number 2 is with respect to the Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 3 is with respect to In Space Organization. Please read the statement and identify the incorrect code. Question number 4 is with respect to the TriFed. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Now guys, mains question for today. This particular question is from GS paper number 2 and it is a 10 marker question. Question says that India-Japan relations have been very special as both have similar prospects and challenges. Evaluate. So guys, please evaluate and substantiate your answer with certain initiatives that both countries have taken. So guys, that's all about this particular thing. I hope you are liking our initiative. Thank you so much.